Alright, so if you've ever been wondering what's the difference between the middle poly, the low poly, or the high poly, but apparently no one really explains you what's the difference between them, no worries, I got your back. My name is Benjamin and I'm a self-taught 3D artist. Now let's get back to the video. So, firstly, sure, I prepared some of the examples here, but I'm gonna delete them and I'm gonna make completely new ones. Firstly, yeah, I know I repeat myself, but firstly, we'll just dive in a little bit into theory, and only then I'm going to showcase the models to you. So many people think that if, let's say, a model is 10 to 50,000 triangles, then it's middle poly. If it's more than 50,000 to 100,000, then it's high poly. If it's low than 10,000, then it's low poly. No, 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 no. Forget about that. It is not the count of the triangles that make a model low poly, middle poly, or high poly, but rather a workflow and approach to that. So we make high polys for good shading and then translate it with normal maps to low polys, right? Turns out mid polys, the workflow for it is completely different. You don't make high poly for a mid poly. You already start doing the mid poly and you do not bake it. Yeah, I know. It sounds simple, but how does it work? It works with a thing called the chamfer. And chamfer is basically a bevel, but only with one segment. And so, yeah, if we simplify it, low poly is with almost zero bevel, mid poly is with chamfer, and the high poly is two or more bevels. Simple as that. So now let me showcase you how it works in practice. Now let's start with a, oh my goodness. Now let's start with a basic cube, right? And I'm gonna Shift D, X, and make two duplicates of the same cube just for showcase reasons. Actually, I should have done it differently. Okay, let me do it once again. I should do it like this. First, I will cut this part, and then here, face select mode, inset, like here, and then we just move it top right here. Now, what I'm gonna do is select this face, extrude it upwards, and select this face and extrude it to the y-axis. Now I'm gonna duplicate this right like this. All right, so this one is the low poly, so it's gonna stay the same. And this one is gonna be the mid poly, whilst this one's gonna be high poly. So I'll keep the mid poly for later because I just want to show you how it works. So for high polys, we just choose a Control B and then bevel it up whilst press the C to turn on the clamp overlap and then subdivide it 2-3 times and shade smooth. Boom. Here is your high poly. Now, sure, you might say, oh, there's like topology issues, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about topology, right? I'm just showcasing you, right? So here's the high poly. And now for the low poly, what you do is, again, press A, Control B, but this time you scroll down to make your object look like something like this, right? Clamp overlap, and of course, miter outer should be set not on arc like this, but rather on the sharp. Just for you to know. But now you might say, well, Benjamin, it doesn't look like the same as this one, right? The shading's kind of off and stuff. Well, with just one single modifier, I'm gonna turn this baby almost identical to this one. So you go to modifiers, add modifier, normal, and press the weighted normal. Now check this out. Boom. You see? It looks identical to the high poly one. And the best part, you don't have to bake this. So it can just stay the same as this one. Now, yeah, sure, in this case, like here, just it beveled the wrong way, but here it did right. But you got the point, pretty much. Chamfer alone is enough for you to get a really good shading for your mesh. Apparently it is. So, yeah, this is what is mid poly for. I'm just giving you an example, and of course, once again, it is not really about the try count, because if you look here, it is 172. If you look here, it's 44. I mean, in this case, it's up to 400. Actually, even more if I apply this. Yeah, 6,000. So normally, the mid poly is like 2, 3, maybe 4 times more heavy than the low poly. And back in the day, like 5 to 10 years ago, mid polys wasn't really the case. People couldn't, like game developers could not put this into a game engine, because if they did so, your computer would probably not be able to handle that. However, nowadays, with the hardware getting much better, it is able to withstand the heaviness of the mid poly. And because of that, it just saves so much time. I'll be honest with you. You don't have to bake. All you have to do is basically just make a mid poly and apply a modifier. And you're good to go. It looks pretty much identical, to me at least. Now, sure, yeah, if you like zoom in like too much, like you can see here this part. In this case, you can see it's like, wait, let me grab the annotations, right? Oh my goodness. All right, so let me grab an annotation, and this you can see that it looks like this, right? However, in this case, it's just like straight, like this. Now, sure thing, if you zoom in, you can see difference, but if you look from the far away, they just look identical. So at the end of the day, it's not really about the try count. It's more about the approach and workflow. And this is what makes a good mid poly. And by the way, if you're wondering what happens if you do the same modifier to the low poly, well, it's just gonna look ugly, because there is no bevel. In this case, there is like a little bit of bevel, and at least like the modifier knows where it should put the shaders. But in this case, like there is nothing to be like a backup. It just purely tries to do the same operation, mostly on this sharp edges, but it's just not being able to do so. That's the thing. Oh, and very important part. When you do the normals, like the weighted normals, do not press the keep sharp, because apparently it's gonna get lost. That beautiful shading is gonna get lost. So just keep it like this, all right? Yeah, this is what makes a good mid poly, and basically you can make any model with this approach. Try it on your own. Just make sure that your topology doesn't look like this right here, and you're good to go. Alright, hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have some questions, feel free to comment down below. And by the way, I have a free community. The link is in the description. I have some free stuff in there, and I'll see you around.